How's it going, everybody? It's me, Catholic, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about an anime that has been on my radar for quite a long time, but I have not actually watched up until this point that the remake has actually released its first episode. And probably by the time I actually get this video posted, it'll have its second episode out. So maybe a few points that I'm going to make in this might turn out not to be the direction the story heads in. But if it is heading in the specific direction that I'm thinking it might be, aka anti-Catholicism, at least in terms of anti-church authority more so, that is what I'm going to be talking about and giving my thoughts on as this anime continues. But also, I want to apologize for it being such a long time since I've actually posted anything. I did go through quite a bit of stuff over the last bit, mainly just focusing on my schoolwork a lot more, and also a little bit of spiritual kind of, warfare, going through some stuff, a little bit of stuff like that. But we are back because I wanted to talk about this first episode quite a bit, because it does have quite a lot of promise in terms of stuff to talk about, I would say. So if you don't know what this series is, it's called Spice and Wolf. It's basically set, I guess, in medieval kind of times, almost. I have not actually looked at a synopsis or anything, so I literally just went in only knowing that it was about a wolf character and something like that, and a merchant guy. So the merchant meets the wise wolf. And what this really goes into a lot of, I guess it's probably going to be a character development kind of thing. As you can see, there's wolves, so it'll deal with spirits of the forest, that kind of stuff. Stuff that I don't necessarily have an issue with when it is presented in a correct way. And hopefully Spice and Wolf does present it in this correct way. Because I don't know, it's presenting spirits of forest more so, that kind of stuff, as just folklore, that kind of stuff, creatures, as wolves almost. If you're following my train of thought, what I'm trying to say is that it's not necessarily supposed to be demonic in a way, because they are going from a more so foundation of Japanese culture rather than Western civilization and Christian culture more so. So that's what I'm trying to say, but you still have to kind of look through it with a Christian lens, especially if you are Catholic almost. There is certain ways to look at a lot of these kind of situations without just labeling it as oh, it's demonic and that kind of stuff, which is the main point of this channel. I'm trying to more so shed light on how all this kind of plays into stuff, give my critiques on how they present church, what they're kind of wrong with that, because let's see, I will skip it a little bit ahead. As you can see, the church does exist in this universe, and it is spreading, is what I've learned from this first episode, that it is spreading around. And I think this is set likely in Britain, I would say, just by kind of how the landscape, the people, and by the church entering this area at a later time almost. With it still being medieval kind of serfdom kind of stuff, with little townships, because this is set up in a town, It's kind of surprising how they already have this big old church here, and it's literally just a small town right near. So props to the church in this world. It's probably pretty darn rich, But yeah, so the main plot of this is wheat, and also the church, and also the wolves, and also town life. So the town is doing a little celebration where they are doing a wheat harvesting festival. So they saved the last little bit of wheat, and they pretend that oh yeah, because it was an old tradition or an old superstition that a wolf would be in the last little bit of the grain. And so basically they end up cutting that. So what happens is that the wolf jumps into the grain that's hidden inside of the merchant's cart, and then of course that's how the wolf escapes the grain, because otherwise it would be caught in the grain. That's how the wolf escapes, the merchant guy finds this wolf in there who has taken on human form basically in order to communicate, you know, because she has found freedom, and this wolf's name is Holo, which is a pretty cool name. And also, interesting character design. I will say I do like the addition of like the very deep red eyes, because no like natural creature will have like red eyes like that, so it is quite interesting almost. And as you can see, there is some silly nudity in here, but nothing's really shown really, so so yeah, like it's probably more shown than was in the original, you know, I would say. But like as you can tell, like we're getting through this and there's not really anything shown, so like yeah, it's not too bad. Although like even if they did show stuff, like I wouldn't have an issue with it at all. For the main reason that like nudity shouldn't necessarily be a bad thing, especially like it might be a trigger for some people, but like the main idea is like you really have to be a virtuous person and build up your tolerance to a lot of that kind of stuff anyway. So plus like yeah, like you can't hate what is natural, you have to unpervert your mind, I would say, which can only be done through a lot of help from the big J guy up in the sky and down all around us. So yeah, overall this is a pretty good, chill first episode. A lot of people are comparing this to like Free Ren, I would say, in a lot of ways. The main other thing about Holo is that she doesn't like how the church handles things a lot of times. But at least from what it seems like right now, it's like she realizes that like the time of like spirits and that kind of stuff and like practices like that are kind of over, and so she kind of just wants to go home, which is a story I can get behind, you know. So we'll have to see how this plays out, but overall I'll skip to probably the end. Well, not the end sequence, but yeah, like right here. But anyway, like I think this story has a lot of potential. Like it is kind of similar to Free Ren from a lot of what people are saying about it, where it mostly focuses on character development. I don't know if there will really be action, but I do think there will be a lot of politics in this show more so. Or like not necessarily politics completely. Like we might have some stuff going on with like we might see like how the like world is adapting to like let's say the new like the church going into the area. But I'm really hoping it doesn't take the stance of like, oh yeah, we have to like fight off the church, that kind of stuff more so. I think it's really more so just like a transition kind of piece, I would say. And hopefully they do have enough, hopefully the author did have enough of an understanding of the Catholic Church in order to understand that like at its roots, like yeah, like it really is like a beneficial thing almost, especially in like medieval Europe in a lot of these situations. Yes, there was a lot of like I don't know, like hard transition with a lot of cases, like especially in England, a lot of that area, in like northern Germany, that kind of area, Germanic tribes, stuff like that. A lot of difficult transition, and a lot of that kind of stuff. And there, of course, there is like church corruption and like bad practices that were going on a lot in the medieval era. But like really, like as that kind of has transitioned, like now it's like really like even through that there is still like a lot of saints in that eras and that kind of stuff. So it is one of those weird kind of things. But anyway, I'm really hoping they don't lean too much into the, I guess, anti-church kind of stuff, which it doesn't seem like they will. But like this first episode really made it plain that like yeah, like it's not gonna be like it's gonna have like some of those elements to it. So I wanted to make a video on this. But overall, I am gonna be definitely watching this series. I've heard lots of great things about it. I even remember this being recommended to me in middle school, and I was thinking about watching it kind of around that time. I just never got to it really, because I didn't know what to think of the series completely. But yeah, like I'm really excited for this. I probably will be making more videos as the time goes on. If you stuck around to this long, thank you. I will probably be trying to grow my channel more so, and I guess put more time into it, you know, kind of balance out my memes channel, you know, a bit. Do some good with my creativity and commentary more so, because like that's mainly what this is going to be. It's going to be a channel that's focused on commentary of anime from a Catholic perspective, and also eventually getting into maybe stuff like I guess like rating anime for like Catholics, like how beneficial is it? Like, is it beneficial enough to understand like more so of how the world works, to turn from your sin more so? But we'll have to see as time goes on. Anyway, till the next time, it's been me, Annie Catholic. I will talk to you all probably next time. Peace be with you.